Hey there folks, it's Brittany Jackson from Tech and Trek, and today I'm going to show you how to utilize PowerPoint on your iPad. So first off, you're going to need to download the app, and to do that, you need to find your self-service. For me, it's in my HireM folder here. It's that first app listed there that's got the skewed multicolored square with 4 dots in the middle. It says self-service. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And in here are any apps that are HireM sponsored that you have access to for free. And if you haven't downloaded it already, it should still be in here and should say install. If you've already downloaded it, which I have for Microsoft PowerPoint, I'm going to go out here and find where I put it, which in this case, I put that in my Office folder. And you see it's the third one over, says PowerPoint with the P. If I click on it, the first time you go through, it's going to ask you several questions, and you can answer in what way is going to work best for you. It may also ask you the first time to log into your account, which you would use your HireM email address, the full email address. So mine would be jacksonb1@hirem.edu, and then your HireM password. So if you haven't logged into it before, or if you've recently changed your password, it may prompt you to do it then. So just know that that is a possibility as well. And then once you're logged in, it may take you either to your recent folder if you've been in before, or in this case I hadn't, so it's going to take me to my new folder. And here you can see a bunch of different templates that I could utilize. I'm going to go ahead and choose this one. The PowerPoint app on your iPad is very similar to what you would use on your desktop or laptop computer. It doesn't quite have as much functionality, but it is very close. And more often than not, unless you need to do something really advanced, it can probably do what you need it to do. So here when I went into this particular PowerPoint, I've got the Home tab up there. And I can enter in new slides. I can change the layout. It's going to prompt me to be on the first page. I can double tap to add title there. And I could double tap in this box to substitute. And then I want to add in a new slide. I would come up here and click new slide. And it's following that particular design of that template that I chose. And again, it tells you to double tap to add the title, double tap to add text. If you wanted to insert an image, you would click on the Insert button, and it tells you can insert photos, a table, you can take a picture, you can choose icons or videos, links or shapes, add a text box, changing the layout. So if I click on Layouts, it gives me other ones that are within this template. So, maybe I want a 2-column version. I would just click on that, it would change it, and then you would go from there. If you click on the draw, here's where you can use your Apple Pencil to draw on your thing. So I'm going to go ahead and click this one. You can change the colors. That particular font seems incredibly fun, but you can write on your PowerPoint slide. So you can do a drawing if you needed to or wanted to. You can also click under Design and look at the themes. You can change what theme we're using. So, okay, I'm not really liking this one. I want to change it to Berlin. And that one's like, okay. But if I click over here, I could change the format background. I'm going to say I want it to actually be green. That seems to make that a little bit easier to read in my mind. Or you can click on Design Ideas. And it's going to tell me right now there's no design ideas because I have that drawing on there and it's not necessarily going to feel comfortable with that. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this slide, but I'm going to use this one and go ahead and hit Design again and Design Ideas. And here it's going to generate a whole bunch of different ways that you could make the slide look based on the information you've got on the slide. It generates a whole bunch of great ideas from the internet. Just like in regular PowerPoint, you can do the transition effect. So if you want to transition from one slide to another, you could do a morphing. So if I start this slide and I try to go next, I think it's going to need a second slide in order to do that. I'm going to come out here. I'm going to go Insert, New Slide. And let's see what happens. I'm going to put that on the transition on there as well. We're going to do a morph. And so I'm going to go back to the main one, hit that, and then here comes the information that was on that because there wasn't really much on there yet. So I'm going to go ahead and leave transitions. You can do animations just like you could on a regular PowerPoint. If you click Slideshow, you can click it from the current slide or from the start. You can do presenter view, which here you can see this would give me any notes I'd put in. And that way I can follow that a little bit easier. I could do rehearse with coach. So it'll give me instant feedback, which is something that is a nice feature on your iPad that may not be on your desktop version. and review. I can review, and I can, just like you can for a Word document, put in comments or make edits to someone else's work if you're doing like a peer review or working together on something. And then the view is, normal or slide sorter. So depending on how you want it to be working, you could do it that way. Then at the top here, if we go all the way over, there's those 3 dots. And if we click on that, if we want to save this, we can hit save. And I'm going to change the title to testing. And then I could choose to be in my OneDrive, which is what I'm going to do. Or I can add a storage account, like a Google Drive or a Dropbox down at the bottom. Or on my iPad, you could save it there as well. I'm going to save it into my OneDrive, hit save. And from here on out, it's going to autosave, which is great. That's very, very helpful. And make sure that feature is turned on automatically for you, just so that in case something happens, your iPad dies or anything like that, you do not lose your work. It is saved. I would encourage you to save your documents into OneDrive or Google Drive or something similar, because that way, if something happens to the iPad completely and we can't get back in, you're not losing your work that way either. It's always good to be backing up everything. And I would always recommend putting putting important documents into the cloud, either by OneDrive or Google Drive. One note about OneDrive is that you will lose access to it once you graduate from Hiram. So keep that in mind and know that you will not be able to access it after that. So if you have a different place you'd like to store things because of that, that's fine. Just make sure it's someplace in the cloud that you can access. That's the biggest thing you'll want to remember. And then if I wanted to, I could, from that same page, do a save a copy. I could send a copy to somebody using Outlook or another app. I could export it as a PDF or an open document presentation. I could print it, and there's information in Hiram Technology 101 on how to AirPrint to some of the printers on campus. And then if I go to that button beside the 3 dots to the left of it, that little paper with an arrow, here I could share this document with others. So I can choose people within the organization or people with existing access or very specific people, and you can provide whether or not they're allowed to edit or not and whether they could block the download or not. But you could send a copy to people, especially if you're collaborating. If you send a copy to people, you guys can be working on the same document and not have to worry about emailing or anything like that back and forth, which is really, really beneficial and helpful. That's really all there is to using PowerPoint, the PowerPoint app on your iPad. As always, if you have questions, feel free to stop by the Dre Help Desk, which is located in the lower level of Teach Out Price, which you can access by going around the back of the building and down the steps. Or you can stop by the Tech and Trek Desk, which is located in the library, or just before the Clock Tower Cafe on the right. We are here to help you and always excited to help you. So, as always, good luck.